Hi guys, welcome back to Infinite Possibilities, the podcast where we explore the lives of amazing people, their choices, challenges and opportunities. And today I have a very special guest, Chanel.
Hello everyone, I'm so keen to be on Karen's podcast today.
So excited for you to be here. So Chanel, you have something very exciting coming up next year. Tell me more.
Yeah, next year I will have graduated uni and I will be in my grad job. I'll be working in ANZ's Business Transformation down in Melbourne, and I'm really keen to see where that takes me.
Yeah, so excited for you. So we really want to know how Chanel got to where she is today. So Chanel, what kind of child were you like growing up?
Yeah, I was a pretty shy child, I would say. I was a typical Asian child in some ways. I played the piano.
I didn't know that.
I didn't practice quite as much as my mum probably would have liked though. And I had a few friends growing up in my primary school. I went to a really Asian dominated primary school. So I had very similar influences to me, and I was surrounded by it. My best friend is actually I still keep in contact with her today.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and she's from my primary school as well. I really enjoyed English and writing essays and things, and I still continued that throughout high school. Yeah.
That's awesome. Back to the piano thing. So how long did that last?
Well, I played from when I was 7 to when I was in year 11. So that's
Whoa, for so long.
Yeah, really long. I think I still know how to play today, but I would probably be better if I was just playing chords.
Oh, sounds good. Let's see if we can test you a bit later.
Maybe not.
Kidding. Okay, so you liked English at school. Did you enjoy the whole process of going to school?
Yeah, I think so. It was, a routine. I actually read a lot as a child.
Ooh.
And I think, something that I didn't realize not a lot of people can do is read in the car. I can read, a lot in the car. Can you read in the car?
No, I'll get car sick.
Yeah, I don't get car sick. I don't vomit or anything or have to stop usually, unless it's it's the bus and it's really shaky. But yeah, in a usual car ride I can, because I would just read everywhere. And not talk very much, because I'd usually be reading. Yeah,
a bit of a book nerd. Yay!
Yeah.
Cool. And I know this is going way back, but do you remember some of your favorite books to read? Geronimo Stilton?
No, not really. I would read
Fairy Magic?
Somewhat. I would read really girly books.
Oh,
I really liked Kathy Cassidy, if you know that author.
Nope.
Yeah, she would write very preteen to teenage, somewhat not fantasy, but fantasy fiction. Yeah, for 13-year-olds. So I have vivid memories of that. I would read things for high school kids when I was 4 upwards.
Wow, you're a smart kid. Nice. So tell me, towards probably the end of high school, when you were thinking about careers and stuff, what was sort of floating through your mind, / what did your parents want you to do?
Oh yeah, that is an interesting question. Really good question, actually. I think I had some defining moments. But yeah, we'll get to that. So from year 8, 9, I wasn't really thinking about it all very much. I was just enjoying being a kid, trying to fit in, trying to make friends, which at a big school, it actually the size of the school made it harder for me to make friends, I think, because everyone would just have little groups, and then you'd be oh no, I'm too late to join this group. High school was a bit cliquey, but I think a lot of high schools are like that anyways, not just mine. But yeah, I didn't really know what I was going to do. Then in year 10, I was right, now is the time to go to uni open days. And I went to UQ and QUT, mostly for the free stuff, but also because I was just really interested in it all. And I think at that point, I also I remember I went to the news agency at the end of the year in year 10, and I picked up the QTAC guide, because I was already so interested in it. I don't know, my parents were really skeptical and why are you so invested into this? Yeah, but I was just so I'm very future focused and future looking, and things to do with the future really excite me. And so I remember going to the pharmacy like talk and the like a lot of the health ones, and then at the end of the day I went to the commerce one. Yeah, and that one like hit a little bit different. It was like, cool, this could be something. Back then advanced business didn't even exist. I was in year 10.
Oh, that is so true.
But I was like, this is all very cool. But yeah, I like whenever adults would ask me what I wanted to do, like for uni or when I was older, I would be like, I think I want to be an occupational therapist or a pharmacist or an accountant. I don't know yet. Like all of it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. What about in terms of your parents? What did they want you to do?
They actually didn't want me to be a pharmacist, which is like just as well, because I got to year 11 and I could not do chemistry like at all. I dropped it for economics and then I was really good at that. And then I think there was also another like prompting moment for me to be like, maybe continue that kind of stuff. And then I found out I was like quite into like the business and economics side of things. And yeah, my parents, they were kind of neutral about it. Yeah, they weren't like really, really like supportive or anything, but they were like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Free range.
Yeah.
Nice. So what did you end up studying at UQ?
Well, yeah, as we know, I ended up studying advanced business and I'm coming towards the end of it all. And yeah, advanced business has been a really special journey at uni for me because that's where I met Karen.
Oh, wow.
And
4 years ago, man.
A lot of other, friends. Well, we met earlier than that, but I guess that's how we probably got to know each other.
Yeah, the really funny thing is, yeah, I remember the story of how we met. So we had a mutual friend and probably like in grade 10, there was like this event at like QUT Science and she was like, oh, this is my friend Chanel. I was like, hi. And then so probably like for me, I just remember things like it was yesterday. So even though there's a probably lapse in 3 years since the last time I saw you, but you were like super energetic when I met you that time. And then so flash forward to first year at uni and we were like, sitting down, we were doing like, they were giving us like a presentation about, I don't know, like advanced business and it was our first day. And I was like, hey, Chanel. And then you seem to like not remember me. Do you remember that day? No, you don't.
Well, I remember the moment of us meeting being different, but...
Oh, can we hear this story?
I thought it was just at our mutual friend's birthday party. And I think we were actually in year 8.
Actually, I agree.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. But you remember the first day of uni?
Yes.
Yeah, I came up to, I was like, hey, Chanel! And you're like,
no, I did remember you. But
you
I was just
weren't that excited.
No, I was just confused as to like why you were there. I was like, wow, Karen's doing this too? I didn't know that I would already know someone. But I just expressed probably much differently to you. Karen's very excitable, if you can't tell.
Well, Chanel was very excitable in grade 10. You've changed. Anyways, so tell me, how did you sort of pick your majors when you were doing advanced business?
Oh, yeah. So I realized I didn't say what really like pushed me towards doing business when I was in high school. But like when I picked up accounting because I was like, oh yeah, this sounds useful because it was time to like pick an elective. And then I got to like the class and I realized, yeah, I quite like it. My teacher's so fun and like really passionate about it. And I think that makes all the difference with teachers. They can really push you in a certain way and you can like see through their own like passion for teaching. So that really helped. And then in year 10, there was like a chance, no, it was year 11. There was like a chance to go to a networking event with like accountants. And I was like, that sounds kind of fun. And then I got there and I loved it. And I would say the rest is history. Because yeah, advanced business is pretty much like all about networking. Like you needed to get by. And yeah, Karen would know. She does it a lot. She's like a networking expert.
Nah, not really. Not as good as Chanel. Much to learn from you.
Yeah, and so I was like pretty sold then. And then yeah, I got to, I think I still liked economics more. Then I got to choosing what I was going to do at uni. And then I was like, I've heard that with economics, I need a lot of maths, and I am not the best at that. And so I like economics, but I probably can't do a whole degree out of it. But then, yeah, I got to uni and then there were things that I was never able to learn at high school, like finance and human resources, and yeah, all sorts of things.
International business.
Yeah, and marketing as well. And so, yeah, then there was accounting, and I was like, yeah, I like this enough, I'll choose this. So I chose accounting, and I always have believed in pushing myself. So even though I'm not the best at maths, I still pushed myself and I still chose finance because I was like, this will be useful and this will be worth it. So it was accounting, finance. And then I got to second year and we all did our compulsory course for business analytics. And I was like, and I like this too. And it sounds like it would complement what I'm doing. Yep. And so I chose business analytics as well.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. And I guess it sort of fits nicely with what you're going to be doing next year. Having that sort of information systems kind of background.
Yeah, I would say that it was probably one of the big factors to help me get towards where I into the role I've accepted for next year.
Yeah. Ooh, that's awesome. Cool. One thing that impressed me at uni out of multiple things was like, you know, you're super pretty like open about your faith. So I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your testimony.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So I would say, yeah, I grew up in a Christian family, as a lot of testimonies tend to start.
Yeah.
My mum still is, yeah, Christian. My dad, not so much, but like I think things that it's like planes that fly over because Archfield Airport's not that far away. But anyways, things that my mum really like instilled into me was the importance of going to church every week. And so I guess as a child, you don't really question it. That just becomes like your routine and just what you do. But I've come to really, own my faith over the years and have, understood that Christianity and specifically like Jesus's life, death and resurrection has like big impacts on my life and implications on my future and gives me purpose to my life. And yeah, it means that that I know that no matter what, God will still love me, and that my hope for the future is not like a wishy-washy thing and like, oh, I'm not sure if this will happen. I'm not sure if I'll like go to hell or heaven when I die and like have to be like scared of judgment or scared that like I'll do something wrong and then my friends will like all leave me. But like I know that I'm fully secure and loved, and my salvation is already achieved for me, and all I need to do is keep holding on to Jesus and he'll provide every need of mine, whether that's spiritual or physical or anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. And have you ever had like moments where your faith was kind of challenged, and how did you sort of find your way back, I guess?
Well, I think that I've had a relatively like stable life, and for that I'm quite thankful for. But I know that I have I know what I need to look back on in times of when I feel like I am suffering, even though that hasn't come yet, or not to like a really huge degree where it's been like really, really like challenging, like I don't know what to do with myself. I think of it as like, what can I say? When my faith has been challenged, I know that in 2 Corinthians, that's like a book that's full of hope. It's written by Paul, who is someone who is known as, being someone who was like a former persecutor of Christians.
Yeah.
Former persecutor of Christians, but then he encountered Jesus and was like, Jesus was like, who do you think you're doing this to? And then Paul was like, whoa. And I think he was like blind for a couple days.
Yeah, I remember the story.
And then he realized that he was going about everything wrong, and that all of his passion for persecuting Christians and killing them and stuff should be like transferred into like passion for Christ, because he like is real and exists, and it is the one that has the power to save us. And he was like convinced that he was doing the wrong thing, like going in his sinful ways. So he writes this book to the church in Corinth, which is why it's called 2 Corinthians. It's the second letter to them. And this is when he's nearing his death. He's like really old at this point, and he is in prison, I think, and he knows he's going to die pretty much. And he says that Like, I consider what's happening to me and my suffering to be a momentary affliction compared to what is to come for me. So if we think of our problems and like what we're going through, even though it's like hard as from that lens, it's like everything we're going through is small, but in the future, like we have like this much more to gain. It's like it puts everything into perspective and keeps you wanting to hold on through things. And we know that the purpose of our suffering is not to not to punish us, not because God doesn't love us anymore, but because he wants to discipline us as his children and remind us that he's like an ongoing presence for us, and we still have a hope and a future, and that's what he wants.
Yeah, that's cool. Kind of like a tough love kind of.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. And do you think sort of being Christian, has it sort of changed you? And what kind of changes?
Yeah, I would say it has definitely changed me. So I think if we look at the time period in which I wasn't really resolute in what I believed, like I would just go to church out of routine as I was like growing up, to going to youth one night and being told by one of my youth leaders that not just to me but like to a whole bunch of like other girls that were also in like grade 7 or 10 that it's like so important, guys, you like take your faith seriously and own your faith because it's like the most important thing in the world. And then me self-evaluating and being like, is it the most important thing in the world for me? And I still have to do that. I think it's definitely an ongoing battle to not have like Jesus and Christianity like on the side of all the other things that I like, and like to spend time doing and like invest my like hope and thoughts into. I would say that, my understanding of God, like it grows deeper over time as I continue to spend time reading his word. And changes everything. And it changes like how I view the church and other Christians and other non-Christians.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Nice. And also, since, you're kind of graduating at this year, if we were to do a sort of reflection across these past 4 years, maybe what are the kind of things that you've learned along the way, and maybe some advice for future students?
Some things I've learned along my advanced business journey. I guess this one is super easy. I mean, it felt like it was easier by like being in advanced business compared to if I did like a huge degree like commerce, was to, really invest in your friendships there. And otherwise it gets unbearable because for the first 2 years you have classes with the exact same people pretty much.
Fortunately, unfortunately.
Like have genuine friendships with them. Like, something that I really liked that we would do was every semester at the end we would go out for lunch or something or dinner. Like chat about the exam and life and like just have like a lot of fun. Also just talk about really dumb stuff. And this was on top of our like talking about dumb stuff and like sharing study tips. Well, we didn't really do that. Sharing memes.
Or making memes out of each other, which is even better.
Or helping each other do our like assignments and things like that, and like helping each other to understand our assignments in classes. So I would see Karen a lot, and also our other friends in our little group a lot, and really grow like affection for them even.
Aww, cute.
I think it was probably the best part of being at uni, like one of the best parts.
Really?
Well, the best part is the people as a whole, and one of the best parts is like you guys as a whole there. And the next bit would be get involved in clubs and societies, like find your thing. Like it doesn't really work for everyone. Like being part of clubs is most useful for people who like to be on uni campus a lot, and not for people who want to like get in and get out just for classes. Like those people won't feel
cough, one of our friends
as connected with clubs. A lot of uni students, honestly, but like if you find something that works for you, then it's just like a really easy platform to make friends because you already have that one thing in common, and that's the club that you're in. And so you just build interest off that, and then you get to like use that as a platform to get to know people on a personal level and see how they're different apart from just like the fact that they like tennis or something.
Nice. And what do you think was the most challenging thing about the uni experience?
Maybe, the most challenging thing for me, if I'm being honest about uni, was some of the courses that we had to do.
Ooh.
Like, yeah. And it's just kind of like shocking when that happens because business courses as a whole are not that hard. Like, I don't think they're known to be hard at all. So I think it's pretty like safe and non-controversial to say.
Yeah.
But that first econ one that we had to do, the microeconomics for business, I remember this really vividly. Sitting in like one of the back couple rows and then, just through like the whole 2-hour lecture, and then the lecturer was like, see you next week. And then the boys behind me were like, oh man, I gotta go home and watch that lecture again like twice. That was so hard. Nothing went into my brain. And I was like, really concerned for myself because...
I know, you were so stressed.
Yeah.
Because you were so stressed, I was just like, I guess someone's stress took away my stress. That's how I feel. If someone...
I was, not very comfortable with it all. So I had to do that one the next year.
Yeah.
And I was just really concerned about that at that point because I was like, oh no, I'm not going to graduate on time, but that all definitely worked out for the best.
Yeah.
And then also, like maybe, there was a business analytics course that I didn't do very well in, but that's okay. I'm happy to leave that one behind.
Sounds cool. Nice. And do you want to give your maybe a few tips about relationships and dating and stuff you've learned?
Like what in particular?
It's probably changed you a bit. And if there's anything maybe you learned about yourself or maybe learned about, getting along with people.
Okay, sure. Well, dating for me as who I am, like personally, I just didn't really care about it too much. So I never dated anyone before I dated the boyfriend that I have now. I was just like, I don't mind being alone. Like, I think that I'm great all by myself. And so I'm like, my own company is like fine. And I'm an only child, so I'm like very used to my own company. I remember this one time I just went out to, like it was during COVID time. And so I just wanted to get out of the house, but we were allowed to go out of the house. It was just all very like social distancing was enforced. So I went to like, Sarafa's or something and I got a coffee. And then I got back, after I had my coffee and then my mum was like, you went out by yourself? I'm like, what is wrong with you? Well, she didn't say what's wrong with me, but I could like sense that she was like getting that vibe. But I'm like, oh, you don't think that I'm used to this by now? I'm an only child because of you, right? Like, and I didn't say that, but I was like, why is she responding like this? But anyways, so what I've learned through my dating life is that it's important to not date until you feel like you're at like a stage in your life, or at least like for me anyways, and what I would maybe want to tell my own kids, where you are mature enough to think like I can put another person above myself, and fully be invested in their lives and like care enough like at the expense of yourself, because if you do a dating relationship well, it's actually hard. Like loving someone is hard. You have to spend money on them sometimes.
Cheapskate.
As a student, you have to like take time out of your week and make time for them, and not just be like, oh, I'm busy all the time. Like most of the time when they ask you to like go out with them and things, like it should be a yes, or you should like come up with a compromise. And you need to be able to separate what things are like really, really important that you can't let go of with like personal things, or like what you want to do with the future, like, with things that are like not as important. So there are like open-handed things, which are like, what movies will we watch, and like, oh, what holidays will we go on in the future when we're married or whatever. But then the like closed-handed things, I think anyways, are like, how you might raise children, and like it's like implied, it's quite important I think to have these conversations. How you would raise kids, like whether you believe or don't believe in private school. Like I don't really believe in private school. I don't think it's a good use of money. And like moving to Melbourne, definitely like a big thing for me, because and how long you want to be like long distance for and things like that, because I have to move to Melbourne for work, and so if my boyfriend was like, I can't do that, then I guess we would have broken up by now.
Glad it's still intact.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. And what's it like sort of dating as a strong, independent woman? Is that kind of scary for men?
Well, I think that he knew that going into it, because we've known each other since we were like 9 years old. And like I say to people, we ignored each other for 12 years. We didn't really...
Love at first sight, they say.
12 is like an exaggeration. We didn't talk until we were like 19. One day, I was really into Snapchat from when I was in first year of uni onwards.
How good are your streaks right now?
Oh, I don't really use it very much anymore. Okay. Like I stopped like maybe last year using it regularly, but I would, I would send them to other people, and then one night after youth, I saw that he was like straining to hear someone else's snap, and then I think what went on in my mind was, I want someone to pay as much attention to my snaps as he does to this other person. And so then I started sending my streaks without any warning. And then he was like really confused for a bit and was like, wait, what is this? And I was just like, it's my streaks. And then we slowly grew a friendship that was like quite surface level. And then we spent more quality time together, and I guess the rest is history. That's like the most abridged version that I've ever given. Yeah,
that is so true. I got all the juicy deets, but not for the podcast listeners. Nice, cool. So we're nearly at the end of the podcast, so just a few deep questions. So Chanel, what do you think the meaning of life is, in your opinion?
Okay, so we have this thing in Christianity called, I think, the Westminster Catechism or something like that. And like a catechism, for people who don't know what that is, because it's like a very old sounding word and we don't really like use it. We're not like, oh hey, how'd you go with your catechism readings today?
It's a big word.
But it says, its very first answer is like, what is the purpose of life, I think. And then, well, that's the question. And then the answer is to enjoy God and glorify Him forever. So I think that's what the meaning of life is. It's to enjoy God's creation, and by like extending on that, not only that and like how it can serve us, but also how we can serve other people that are His church and His community that He loves, and how to enjoy Him as our creator and someone who we have a personal relationship with. And that means reading the Bible, being meaningfully participating in church, and to glorify Him. We should be doing that in whatever we do. There's some verse that's like, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it for the glory of God. And that's really freeing to know that like we can just be eating or drinking and like enjoying God's creation, and that's like glorifying to Him. It's not like a strenuous thing, but like in other ways it does involve sacrifice from us. Yeah,
that's beautiful. All the little small things. Yeah, nice. And so the fun question is, Chanel, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what would you do differently about your life?
Well, I would probably have to... I don't think that I would spend very much of it for like a few days, or probably not a week. I don't know if I would last a week, but I just would want to be thinking about how I can use it wisely, probably praying about it, because I think most people say that they would donate, and I would too. But there is a lot of good to choose from, and like with all of economics on earth, we have finite resources. And so the 1 million isn't an infinite amount, it will run out. And so I think about how I would want to allocate it. I think that mission, like Christian mission, as in like spreading the gospel to the rest of the world, is really important all across the world. So I probably want to put a large portion towards that, maybe like 40%. and not to one organization, to like different ones, because like different organizations have like a different focus like in the world. And then, yeah, under that comes like Bible translation as well. Yeah, not everyone has the Bible in their own heart language, like the language which they think and speak and understand in. And so it really needs to be funded so that everyone can get their hands on like a copy that they can read. And I probably honestly, put some towards my house because the market... it's going to be a good time to enter the market. I don't know how much I would put in, but like somewhere between 0 and 20%. I definitely want to like give. Oh, and I would obviously give to my own church because that's where I think we should be primarily giving to as well.
Sounds good. Nice. And the final question is, what is an ideal day in the life for you? It can be work related, it can be non-work related.
An ideal day in the life. I think that would involve like hiking and a picnic. And being at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not like every day at all. That's like very rare for days. I wish they could all be like that though.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I hope you get at least you have a picnic today. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's say bye.
Bye.
Bye.